Those first two songs you heard tonight were the Halo opening theme performed by the basses and tenors of the Riverside Concert Choir, and Megalovania from Undertale performed by the Riverside Jazz Band.
Hey,
Why the square face?
what?
Well, next up we're playing Minecraft from arranged by Ralph Ford.
Performed by the concert band. Now, what do you call a worried bounty hunter?
What?
Boba Fett. Next up is Bounty Hunter, performed by the concert band.
In preparation for the Mario Brothers 1986 Super Mario Bros. Debut on the Wii, we have learned the Me theme. We will now perform it with the rest of our sax quartet for the beginning of the solos portion of our concert.
Next up, we have Daydreaming, performed by Kayla Schuster.
the street with his eyes shut. One day, I'm sitting in the passenger seat of his car, and I look to the left, and I see him with both hands on the wheel and his eyes shut. No kidding, he was driving like this on a main street. Huggai, I say, that's not a good idea. Huggai, open your eyes. But he kept driving like everything's fine. You know where I am now? He asked me. Open your eyes. I say again, come on, it's freaking me out. Miraculously, we didn't crash. The guy who fantasizes all the time about other people's homes, that they were his, about their cars, about their jobs, never mind their jobs, about his wife. He'd imagine that the other women were his wife, and kids too. Kids he met in the street or the park or saw on some TV series, imagining they were his family instead of his own. He'd spend hours doing it. If it was up to him, he'd spend his whole life at it. Huggai, I say to him, Huggai, wake up. Wake up to your own life. You have an amazing life. A fantastic wife. Great kids. Wake up. Stop, he answers from the depths of his beanbag. Don't ruin it. You know who I'm with now? Yotam Ratsabby. My old army buddy. I'm on a sheep tour with Yotam Ratsabby. Just me, Yoti, a little Avatar Medicine. He's this wise kid from women's kindergarten. And Avatar, the little devil, says to me, Dad, I'm thirsty. Can I have a beer? Picture it. The kid's not even 7 yet. So I say, no, Evie. You know Mom says it's not allowed. His mom, my ex, I mean, Rana from high school, beautiful as a model, but tough. Tough as nails. Huggai, I say, he's not your kid, and she's not your wife. You're not divorced. Man, you're happily married. Open your eyes. Every time I bring the kids home to her, I get excited. He says like he doesn't even hear me. Excitement. She's beautiful, my ex. Beautiful but tough. And that toughness is what gives me excitement. She's not your ex, I say, and you aren't excited. I know what I'm talking about. He's a meter away from me in his shorts. No excitement there. We had to split, he says. I hated being with her, and she hated being with herself too. Huggai, I plead. Your wife's name is Carney, and yes, she's beautiful, but she's not tough, not with you. His wife is really soft. She has the gentle soul of a bird and a big heart. She feels for everybody. We've been together for 9 months now. The guy starts work early, so I go to see her at 8:30, right after she drops the kids off at kindergarten. Rana and I met in high school, he goes on. She was my first, and I was hers. After the divorce, I asked around a lot, but none of the women even came close to her. And you know, at least from a distance, she looks like she's still alone. If I found out she would have someone, it would shatter me. Even though we're divorced and all, shatter me to pieces. I just wouldn't be able to take it. None of the other women meant anything, just her. She's the one who's always been there. Huggai, I say. Her name's Carney, and no one's with her. You're still married. No one's with Rhonda either, he says as he licks his dry lips. No one. I'd kill myself if there was. Carney comes into the apartment now, carrying an AM/PM bag. She tosses a casual hi in my direction. Since we've been together, she tries to be more distant when other people are around. She doesn't even say hi to Huggai. She knows there's no point in talking to him when his eyes are shut. My house, he says, right in the center of Tel Aviv, beautiful, with a mulberry tree right outside the window. But it's small, way too small. I need another room. On weekends, when I have the kids, to open the living room couch. It's a real pain in the neck. If I don't find a solution by summer, I'll just have to move. Living in a world so different from this one can be the best part of life. When stuck in a bad place, it's always easiest to just imagine you're somewhere else. Daydreaming Woes by S.C. Robinson. Naps are fun, but sleep is better, even during stormy weather. I wake up from my peaceful sleep and drift off into my thinking really deep. I think of, surprise, games, guests. I wonder what they would think is best. I linger in my thoughts for a while. I cannot stop at what makes me smile. I hear a sound that yells at my brain. Oh no, it's my clock with a proud, loud ring. I need to hurry. I need to rush. If I do not meet the challenge, I will miss my bus. No more thoughts, no more trance, no more daydreaming for a chance. I look outdoors with nothing in sight. Yep, I missed my bus all right. I figure out an idea with my witty thought. I'll just pass and enjoy an eventful walk. A stroll through the jungle or a journey through dry land. The street towards my school feels like hot sand. The path is wavy like a wiggly river. The thought of adventure makes me quiver. I jump over cracks that could be sea creatures. And on the way, I pick a flower as a treasure for my dear teacher. This day is not doomed. This day is not bad. It all started with the morning thoughts I had.
Next up is Death by Scrabble, performed by Allie Pearson.
A husband, unhappy with his marriage, plays a heated game of Scrabble with his wife. Death by Scrabble by Charlie Finch. It's a hot day, and I hate my wife. We're playing Scrabble. That's how bad it is. I'm 42 years old. It's a blistering hot Sunday afternoon, and all I can think to do in my life is play Scrabble. I should be out, doing exercise, spending money, meeting people. My letters are crap. I play appropriately, B-E-G-I-N. I watch my wife's smug expression as she rearranges her letters. Clack, clack, clack. I hate her. If she wasn't around, I'd be doing something interesting right now. I'd be starring in the latest Hollywood blockbuster. I don't know, but I'd be doing something. She plays Jinxed. She's beating me already. Maybe I should kill her. If only I had a D, then I could play murder. That would be a sign. That would be permission. I start chewing on my U. It's a bad habit, I know. As I'm picking letters from the bag, I find myself thinking, the letters would tell me what to do. They spell out kill, or stab, or her name, or anything. I'd do it right now. I'd finish her off. I can hear buzzing insects outside. I hope they're not bees. My cousin Harold swallowed a bee when he was 9, and his throat swelled up and he died. I hope if there are bees, that one flies into my wife's throat. She plays fan, and then gets up to fill the kettle and turn on the air conditioning. It's the hottest day in 10 years, and my wife's turning on the kettle. This is why I hate my wife. I play Zaps, and she gets a static shock from the air conditioning unit. I find this remarkably satisfying. She sits back down with a heavy sigh and starts fiddling with her letters again. Clack, 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 clack. I feel a terrible rage building up inside me, some inner poison slowly spreading through my limbs. When it gets to my fingertips, I'm going to jump out of my chair, spill the Scrabble tiles all over the floor, and I'm going to start hitting her again and again and again. The rage gets to my fingertips and passes. She plays ready, and then goes to pour herself a cup of tea. No, I don't want one. I steal a blank tile from the letter bag when she's not looking. She gives me a suspicious look. She asks me if I cheated. I really, really hate her. If only there was some way for me to get rid of her. I spot a chance to use all my letters. Explodes. That'll show her. As I put the last letter down, I hear a deafening bang, and the air conditioning unit fails. My heart is racing, not from the shock of the bang. I don't believe it. It can't be a coincidence. The letters made it happen. I played the word explodes, and it happened. The air conditioning unit exploded. And zaps, my wife got an electric shock. The words are coming true. The letters are choosing their future. I have to test this. I have to play something and see if it happens. something unlikely, to prove that the letters made it happen. I start frantically chewing on my B. I play fly, using the L of explodes. I sit back in my chair, close my eyes, and wait for the sensation to rise up from my chair, waiting to fly. Stupid. I open my eyes, and there's a fly, an insect, buzzing around above the Scrabble board. That proves nothing. The fly could have been there anyway. I have to play something unambiguous, something that can't be misinterpreted, something absolute and final, something murderous. My wife plays caution. I am in awe of the power of my letters and frustrated that I can't wield it. Maybe I should cheat again. I could pick out the letters to spell slash or slay. Then it hits me. The perfect word. A powerful, dangerous, terrible word. I play quake. I can feel the trembling energy of potential in my veins. I am commanding fate. I am manipulating destiny. My wife plays death. Just as the room starts to shake, I gasp with surprise, and the bee I was chewing on gets lodged in my throat. I try to cough. My face goes red, then blue. My throat swells. I draw blood clawing at my neck. The earthquake builds to a climax, and I fall to the floor. And my wife just sits there, watching.
Up next, we have Kimberly Smith with Short People Problems.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Height Analysis Club. I am honored to be your guest speaker today. So, before we talk about being short, I think we have to go over what defines short. Well, the average woman in the United States is about 5'4". So, if you are 5'3" and above, you don't get to complain. I am tired of seeing people online say to me, "Oh, I'm so short, I'm 5'3", and no, you don't get to complain. These people will then have the audacity to go to an event, look at me, and sit right in front of me. We who are actually short are tired of sitting behind you. Now that we have established what short is, let's talk about some issues. First of all, I see some taller people in the audience, and I would like to ask you all a favor. Please, when at the grocery store, move the items in the back of the shelf to the front. I am tired of having to climb the shelves to reach an item in the back of the second to top shelf. Then, after I get my groceries, sometimes I like to go clothes shopping. Now, this is hard enough as it is, finding something in my size. But then, when I do find it, it's on the top rack. Now, I'm going to pick on Jeremy over here because I know he works at a retail store. And I know for a fact that you do this on purpose just to get a laugh out of us. Well, guess what? I don't need to hear it from you. I already have to take that to a tailor after I buy it from him. Then, I'll go to the shoe section, and I see all these pretty flats, and I want to buy one so desperately bad, but none are in my size. People think that just because you're short, you want to wear heels all the time. And this is just not true. Now, to be fair, I could shop in the kids section. I never have to worry about getting anyone to do anything for me. I just have to pull the I'm too short card. Oh, this box is so heavy. Can you please carry it? Then, if they're still resisting, I just have to flutter my eyelashes. Will you please put the dishes away? I'm too short to reach the top shelf. There is a misconception that just because you're short, you're cute. And I can tell you, every short person uses this to their advantage. Now, my time is almost up here today, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I also hope your guest speaker next week talks about being too tall. I hope to see you next time. See ya.
You know, Doc, I've been having this problem. So, the other day, I woke up and I thought I was Goofy. And the day after that, I thought I was Mickey Mouse. The day after that, I thought I was Daffy Duck.
Well, how long have you been having these Disney spells for?
Next up is Allie Pearson and Holly Herring performing Kingdom Hearts.
You know, my mom always gets so worried when my brother takes a car out for a drive.
Yeah, it could be scary, but imagine if it was a dragon.
Next up is Test Drive from How to Train Your Dragon, performed by Jess on the trumpet.
Next up, we have Animal Testing by Jane Bates.
If you, a friend, or a family member owns a pet, how would you feel if this pet was one of the 50 million used in the United States for animal testing? What if it was your pet that endured the pain from the testing with no pain medication given during or after the testing? While it may not personally be your pet, over 115 million animals worldwide are used for animal testing and endure the pain. People who believe in animal testing believe that it is the only way to find cures and treatments for humans, although many alternatives have been found. There are many other reasons people believe in the greater good for animal testing, such as the treatments we have gained as humans, animals are protected by the Animal Welfare Act, and much more. However, there is research that has proven that animal testing is not humane, not safe, and not needed as those say it is. Although animal testing has been around for thousands of years, more than 90% of the current scientific discoveries made during the testing fail to lead to human treatments. Also, according to the National Institutes of Health, they have known that 95% of all drugs shown to be safe and effective while testing on the animals fail to lead to human treatments due to not working or putting the human in danger. Even the small percent of drugs that are approved for human use are relabeled due to the side effects that were not identified during the tests on the animals. For example, Lipitor, it's a blockbuster drug used for reducing cholesterol, was not successful while it was being tested on the animals. However, there was a research scientist that requested that this drug be used on a small group of human volunteers. This test was successful and is now commonly used in human medicine. There are also many other medicines that affect humans and animals differently. Penicillin is a toxic drug in guinea pigs, but has been used in common human medicine. Morphine causes hyperexcitement in cats, but a calming effect in humans. Afflicting health problems on humans, such as psychopathology, cancer, drug addiction, Alzheimer's, and AIDS, are species-specific and can vary on the animal, making animal testing much less reliable. Animal tests are not only unreliable, but also inhumane. Animals go through chemicals being dripped into their eyes, injected into their bodies, forced down their nostrils, or forced down their throats. These chemicals that are forced into their bodies cause them to get many human diseases they do not naturally obtain the major types of. Diseases include significant heart disease, many types of cancer, HIV, Parkinson's, or schizophrenia. The animals that are used in the testing, only 85 to 95% of them are protected by the law, thus meaning labs are not required to disclose the data used in the experiments. Those animals that are not protected by the law, and even if they are tortured, killed, or cloned. Animal testing does not only affect animals, it affects United States taxpayers. The United States government spends over $15 billion on animal testing. Millions of taxpayer dollars are being spent on cruel animal testing. Recently, it has been revealed that the United States has been funding China's wet markets. Wet markets are meat markets in China that kill the animal while they're fully conscious, and the blood still soaks the stalls, hence why it's called the wet markets. They are also purchasing animals from China to bring back to the United States. And it is also found that they are funding the Wuhan Institute of Virology lab. This lab is linked to the coronavirus outbreak. The campaign group, White Coat Waste Project, explained that taxpayer dollars are funding the animal test at WIV in capturing coronavirus-infected bats, and they are experimented on. Since people began to see a problem with animal testing, many researchers have found alternatives for this, such as vitro testing, human volunteers, and 3D printing. There has been many advancements in 3D printing that allow for bioprinting. For example, there's a French company currently working on bioprinting a liver that can test the toxicity of a drug. While it can be a controversial topic, human volunteers are also an alternative. There are many people who are willing to do so, and already are, volunteering for a method called microdosing. This is when the volunteers are given an extremely low-time, one-time drug dose. Human volunteers can also be used in archaic experiments.
This is when temporary and reversible brain damage is given to the human volunteers, and they can replace with the animals that are used in these experiments. Brain imaging has become much more advanced, along with recording techniques, specifically magnetic resonance. In conclusion, animal testing is inhumane, unreliable, affects everyday people, and there are many alternatives that we have found but are not used. Alternatives include human volunteers, 3D printing, in vitro testing. In this advanced society we live in, why do we continue to test on the animals with as much research as we have already completed? Animal rights have been made and altered to protect the rights of these animals. If someone were to be doing these cruel experiments outside of the lab, they would be punished. In and out of the lab, these tests are inhumane and cruel. Be the voice for these animals that cannot speak for themselves, and watch the products you see and buy in stores, as it could have been your pet it was tested on.
Next up, we have Autumn Bennett performing One Special Brother.
Words matter. This is a tribute to the children with Down syndrome and to their families. One Special Brother by Ken Bradbury. When my little brother Jacob was born, Mom said she was going to write a book. She was going to call it 100 Things That Can Be Flushed Down the Toilet. Jacob loved pulling handles and watching things disappear. We'd be missing a book or a credit card or goldfish. And we'd say, Jacob? He'd smile and say, whoosh, whoosh. Jacob didn't have much of a vocabulary until he was about 4 or 5 years old. So words were a big deal to him. Words can do that. They can be a big deal. Here's how it happens. The nucleus of every cell has 23 sets of chromosomes. And there's this little rascal called chromosome 21. If you have an extra set of 21s, we call it Down syndrome. Not Downs, Down. 1 out of 691 babies in our country are born with this. That means about 6,000 this year, and Jacob is one of them. Jacob is probably the most, how do I put this, amazing thing that's ever happened to us. It was funny. Mom was so worried about how to tell us we were going to have a brother with a disability, she had read all the proper ways to tell a family without causing too much heartache. And here's the part we still laugh about. My big brother said, lots of people with disabilities use dogs to get around. Does this mean we get a dog? And I said, now remember, I was much younger. I said, does this mean we get to park in the handicap spaces? When Jacob started school, he got in trouble. A lot. Kids on the bus would tell him to do things and Jacob would do them. But not all of these things were good. They'd say, Jacob, go kiss that girl. And Jacob would go up and kiss that girl. They'd say, Jacob, call the bus driver stupid. And Jacob would do it. Just words, but words can be a big deal. And I've got to mention, the thing that got Jacob most in trouble was his hugging. He hugs anybody, anywhere, at any time. And when Jacob hugs you, he closes his eyes, wraps his arms around you, and you sort of have to hold your breath until he lets go. Sometimes you'll have to tell him to let go, especially if it's a stranger on the sidewalk. I'll have to yell, enough! Jacob, enough! He understands that. Words are a big deal to Jacob. Oh, and one of our major jobs was to convince Jacob that wearing clothes was a good thing. If Jacob didn't like what he was wearing, he'd just take it all off, no matter where he was. I think I'll skip the details, but let's just say Mom had to do a lot of explaining in the shopping malls. gotta mention, Jacob's an addict. Ketchup. He's a ketchup addict. You name it, and my little brother will slather it with ketchup, no matter where he is. And if he ever has to be punished for something, all you have to do is threaten to take it away. Actually, he's opened up a whole new world of possibilities. Unless you've tasted ketchup-flavored ice cream, you just simply haven't lived. When you have a brother like Jacob, you sort of want to be with him all the time, to protect him. Although you know that's impossible. You want to be there when other kids make fun of him and call him names. And yes, he's cute, and he's lovable, and he loves everybody. But kids still call him names. Sometimes he doesn't even know what the name means. The worst was when he came home and he said, "Hey Dad, I'm a retard." We all just sort of sat there. It wasn't something he read, and he probably didn't hear on TV. Someone had called him that and thought it was pretty funny. Someday Jacob will know what that word means. I know what it does to my mom when she hears the word. I can see the look in my dad's face when one of his friends casually calls someone a retard in conversation. It hurts, okay? No matter what you've heard, words count. Some people even defend it. They say, "When I was growing up, that's what we called it." Well, that was then, and this is now. Grow up, learn something, and deal with it. What it means today is, you're an outsider. You're not part of the group. Some people would say, "But I never call your brother that." It doesn't matter. As long as you use the word, you're spreading the problem. You keep it going. So, what word do you use instead? How about funny? Have you ever been awakened by someone standing in your bed in his underwear, singing YMCA? One other word? Try determined. Tell Jacob he can't put ketchup on the communion wafers at church. One other word? Try sympathetic. If Jacob sees someone crying, his own tears begin to flow. There are a lot of other words you can use to describe my brother. Loving, bright, inquisitive, extremely inquisitive. I mean, really inquisitive. No, Jacob, you do not ask my friend how he smells. You want words? There are a lot of wonderful, beautiful words out there to use. One night, as I was tucking Jacob into bed, I said, "Jacob, you're a handsome young man." He said, "What's that mean?" I said, "You're good looking." "What's that?" "You're a pretty boy." He smiled. He closed his eyes tightly and said, "I am a pretty boy." And the next day at school, he went and announced to everyone that he was a pretty boy. He told his teacher. He told the janitor. He told the lunchroom cooks. He told the water fountain. We often believe what people tell us because words, yeah, words matter.
Next up is Macy Woods performing October 17th, 2016.
Before I get started, I would like to inform you all that this piece is talking about suicide. As some of you in this room may know, and to those who don't, my own father passed away from suicide. This happened when I was only in 6th grade. Not only was I young, but I never thought I would mature so fast. Now, I don't want to blame my father for this, because he struggled with mental illness. This isn't to make anyone upset, but to bring hope to those who have lost people to suicide. One thing that has helped me through this ugly and horrible experience is speaking up on my thoughts, my emotions, and my own mindset. October 17th, 2016. Original piece written by Macy Woods. The hallway was full of chatter from the curious little kids. They stared at us if we were new creatures to this earth, but you looked at me as if I was a lost puppy. The words you said blur in my head, but you continue to play. There wasn't any pause button to stop this horrid little memory. The thought of you leaving to get away from this horrid little town was shattering. My body started to break as if it was a little Russian doll. You try to pick up my pieces before you move on to the next step of your own life. The words, "Goodbye, May," rings like an alarm clock. You leave me in the hallway to rebuild what I once was. The little chatter grew more and more. A big wave grows over me and hits me over and over again. I was left at sea and no one to reach out for help. Time flies as the day gets darker. I soon come to what I thought was my safe haven to find out that my own place has been corrupted. Cars surround my house like ants going after a dropped piece of candy. Doors wide open, but not in a welcoming way. The words, "Goodbye, May," plays one more time as I discover the truth about your disappearance. Maybe if I would have ran after you, as if I was a predator going after their prey. Instead, I sat still in that little, rumorful hallway. The regret built up inside of me like a virus. Over time, though, it goes away because of acceptance. The words, "Goodbye, May," plays in my head every time I look at your box. Sweet, innocent, golden, wooden box. This time it isn't an ugly melody. It's not terrible, it's not disgusting, revolting, horrid, anything bad you want to call it. It's a beautiful chord that is loved by my mind. I never want to forget the feeling the first time I heard this chord. It's as if you're in a coffee shop and you first walk in and you smell the coffee being made and you hear the little noise playing. It's so sweet and tender and nice. You never want to get rid of it. This chord is so beautiful that Beethoven would have played it. It's so nice, and I never, ever want to forgive it.
Hey, I think we're in the wrong place. I think we're in Hyrule.
I think you're after the wrong princess, Mario.
Introducing Brett Puring playing Sweden. What's
2 songs from Minecraft and a hero's ballad from Zelda.
that banana peel. Next up is the Skyrim theme, performed by Eric Duhache.
yetu yetu liye mbinguni, yetu amina Baba yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe. Baba yetu liye mbinguni, yetu amina Baba yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe. Utuku chocolate, tumetoitaji utusamehe makosa yetu, kama tusifiche utuwakosea, situtie